Hey guys, it's JP, and this time I will be going over some higher level exercises targeting the groin muscles, otherwise known as the hip adductor muscles. While I already went over some ways to strengthen the groin muscles, it may be beneficial to incorporate more dynamic and challenging exercises for the area. This is because as you run, the muscles are not static, but rather are dynamic and are constantly moving. Another reason is because of the role they play in sprinting. As I mentioned before, they are primarily involved in accelerating off the blocks, but I will go over how they are used in a bit more detail. When you are in this position, the hips are bent. This actually shifts the role of the groin muscles, and they actually end up working as powerful hip extensors. Basically, they will help you explode off the blocks. And the more force you produce from these muscles, the faster you will be able to accelerate and ultimately lead to even faster times. However, in order to strengthen these muscles, they need to be challenged, so incorporating higher difficulty exercises may be a great addition to your training program. Now, let's go over some dynamic and more challenging exercises that you can try with minimal equipment. The first exercise I will go over is the lateral step 2 lunge. This is a great dynamic exercise that can be deceptively difficult as it also involves coordination demands. Now here, I have her on a step, but you don't need to use one initially to make it easier for yourself. Basically, the groin muscles on this side will be the ones working. Now to do this, all you do is perform a side lunge. However, when you're attempting to come back up, I want you to try to pull the foot in. This cue will make sure you're using the groin muscles in this scenario. Then, you will return to starting position and you can repeat the exercise. Typically, I have people starting with this exercise for 2 to 3 sets of 10 repetitions to learn the movement. Now to make this more difficult, you can hold weights as well as performing this from an elevated surface as shown. The higher the surface, the harder the muscles have to work, as well as increasing coordination demands involved. Now the next exercise I will be going over is the dynamic Copenhagen half plank. This looks like the exercise I went over in the last video on the groin muscles. However, there's a bit of a twist involved as this incorporates dynamic movement. The postural cues are similar though. You will basically start with your knee on an elevated surface. Try to make sure your elbow is stacked under the shoulder to reduce stress on it. Then, when you are ready, you're going to push down from the top knee and get into this position. Now this is where the difference is. Instead of maintaining this position, you will slowly lower for around 3 seconds by using your groin muscles on the top leg. Then, you can continue to repeat it. This can be pretty challenging to perform. I typically have people performing this for 2 to 3 sets of 5 repetitions when trying this one out. Now, to make it harder, you can either slow down the tempo when letting the body lower, or you can try the next progression. The progression to the last one is the dynamic Copenhagen plank. To do this one, the big difference is that you will have your foot on the surface instead of the knee. This kind of positioning will challenge the groin muscles more as you are engaging them from a longer lever arm. Since this is more difficult, this increases chances of compensating. One common compensation is letting yourself roll forward or backward. Try to keep yourself sideways to really engage those muscles. Similar to the last one, I typically have people performing this for 2 to 3 sets of 5 reps when trying this one out. To further increase the difficulty though, you can either slow down the tempo when lowering, or you can add ankle weights to the bottom leg. And those are some dynamic and challenging exercises that target the groin muscles, which can easily be incorporated at home. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'd love to hear your thoughts and any feedback you may have. And as always, thank you for watching.